All right, welcome everybody to the Wednesday team call called the 30-Minute Mentor Series. This is my first time doing it from Hawaii, so I had to get used to the time difference. 8 o'clock in the morning here. I've already been up for 4 hours, got the day 30 of 22-minute hardcore done, some sprints on the beach, my personal development, got all my new invites out, and now it's time for the team call. So super excited. I'm going to do a couple of shout outs just because today was a pretty big day in my email. As you know, as a coach, sometimes you get emails about what your coaches are doing. So I'm going to give a shout out to that. First of all, we have Joshua Khalil, and he's in his third month. Only 7 days in the month, hit Success Club for his third consecutive month. First month, he had SC 18. Second month, Success Club 28. And then this month, he's at Success Club 6 right now. So what that means is he has earned a free ticket to Coach Summit next year, which is absolutely awesome. Also, a shout out to new coach Michelle Sanchez. Hit Success Club 6 in her first month. So she gets a free conference call with Carl Deichler, which will be coming up in a couple weeks. We also have another Success Club starter for 3 months, Christine Kozlik. She has hit Success Club in her first 3 months as a coach as well. Gets a free ticket to Coach Summit next year. And we also have, this one I like even better as an announcement. All of these announcements are great, but Dwana Olson, I see you on here, has just advanced in the leadership ladder up to team builder. So she's a team builder now in the leadership ladder, which is absolutely awesome. Next step is team leader. And that's even a step higher than being just a diamond coach because you're actually creating other leaders in your team. So shout out to all of you guys that are doing that. Also gonna just give one more announcement on Summit, which is, make sure I have the dates right, the 13th, July 13th through July 15th. So if you're not registered for Summit, it's not too late. You guys can still come to Summit. I know that there's 2 people, at least right now on our team page, that have houses rented on VRBO, looking for roommates at a discounted price, cheaper than staying at a hotel. So if you're considering coming and haven't known who to stay with and all that stuff, please make sure that you check that out. So let me know if you need to get to Summit, coachsummit.com, and you can get to Summit. So let me get my buddy. He got out here, and there's a pool out here, so I need to hold on to this guy. So come to Summit. If you have questions about Summit, please ask me or your sponsor coach or your upline diamond. We want to help you be able to get there. So I'm excited about our team, our guest speaker today. I'm going to give her a quick. I'm going to give you guys a little outline of who she is so you guys know who is sharing with you guys today. She's been coaching for almost 4 years. She was a success starter, just like I shared with Josh, Dwana, Christine. She was a success starter just like these 3 coaches. She's a 5-star diamond in a 2015 elite coach. She's been a Success Club legend for 40 consecutive months. That means she's hit Success Club for 40 consecutive months. She's got her master's degree in nutrition. She owns a gym. She's a retired dental hygienist. She is a wife to an awesome husband of 7 years and a mommy to a 4-year-old princess named Addison. I'm super excited to hear from her because I know we can get a lot of value out of her with her master's in nutrition and also as a gym owner. I know you guys are going to meet people that are gym owners. You're going to meet people that are nutritionists that might look at Beachbody as this thing. I'll give you guys a specific example. We met an amazing personal trainer in Salt Lake City a few weeks ago. And she has a lot of credentials. And she's like, I don't want to become a Beachbody coach because I feel like that's lowering myself from all the credentials that I had. So I believe that Abby can help you guys with that, kind of that mindset as she shares about Shakeology, the importance of health, nutrition, Shakeology, and how to share it. So with that being said, I am going to pass the time over to Abby. Abby, you are unmuted. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you all today. And, thank you so much for the introduction, Scotty. It's great to get to talk with you too. We meet people in these groups that we're in as you advance through Beachbody, and it's great to get to know their teams. And, one of my favorite things about being a coach is that it's not just about our team and what we can do in our team, but what we can do in an organization, a bigger organization for a mission much bigger than ourselves, and to share our skills around the network. So I'm excited to be with you guys today, and I'm going to give you just a little bit of my backstory before we get started so you know me, and that's going to lead into the first thing I talk about with Shakeology. So like Scotty said, I do have my master's in nutrition, and I own a gym, and that all kind of came before Beachbody for me. And as he was talking about, somebody thinking they'd be lowering their standards, becoming a coach. That was me. I thought Beachbody coaching was for the birds. I also thought at-home workouts were for the birds. And I thought that nobody could get fit at home. I was like, people need to be working out at the gym. They need a personal trainer or group fitness classes to get fit. And at-home workouts don't work. So I was not in an open mind space to accept the coaching opportunity in any way and accept that Beachbody could really do something for people. So here's how I got into this, and I hope you're ready for a fun story. So here's the deal. I had owned my gym already. At this point in time, my daughter was about 7 months old, and people at my gym were asking me about different supplements on the market. This is being recorded, so I'm not going to bash any other products, but we'll just say that every product under the sun was brought up to me. A lot of the ones you've probably heard as competitive products with Shakeology, along with diet pills that you can pick up off the shelf from Walmart and the drugstores. And people were asking me about these things. And I was like, pump the brakes, y'all. Like, don't take pills, just eat healthy, work out. You don't need shakes and supplements. You don't need any of that stuff. Just work out and eat healthy. And they were pestering me a lot to, just look into these. Like, I really just want to just up it a little bit, get some more results, get faster results, because we live in an instant gratification society. And I was like, you know what? I will do my research on these products for you, and I'll give you valid reasons why I don't think you should consume them. So I started looking through all these products, and it was very easy for me to just lay them aside and throw them in the trash can and say, you can't take this. Like, the ingredients in this are illegal in Europe. Like, I can't believe that this is even on the market here in the United States. Then I would look at the next shake or a supplement, and I'd be like, this is full of artificial sweeteners and other things like that are just awful for you. No good. Don't waste your money on this stuff. And then I got to Shakeology. I'd never tried it before. I'd never had an experience with it myself. And I started researching it, and I was like, this is pretty decent. Like, okay, it didn't fail my label reading test from day one. And so I started getting into it. I became super obsessed with learning more about it because I wanted to find something that I didn't like about it, the reason why people shouldn't drink it. And I couldn't find any reason. So what I decided that day was that people could probably drink this and it might actually even be good for them. And I was going to try it myself before I had anybody else drink it. So that day I went on beachbody.com and I looked up Shakeology, how much it was. And my first thought was, holy crap, this is expensive. I don't know if I want to buy this stuff. And I read all the fine print on beachbody.com and I found out that it was cheaper to be a coach. So that day, not knowing anything about Beachbody, never trying Shakeology before, I bought my first bag of Shakeology with the T25 challenge pack signing up to be a coach. So I had no intent of ever coaching at that point in time. I just wanted a deal. I'm pretty frugal. And I got my first bag of Shakeology. I'll be honest with you, make a short story a little shorter and say I thought Shakeology tasted like a trash can. It's when vanilla Shakeology came out. And to this day, I still hate vanilla Shakeology. But I didn't like it at first. So if you have clients who didn't like it at first, don't give up on them yet, all right? They might be the next elite coach on your team. You never know. So after 14 days, even disliking the taste of Shakeology, I noticed changes in myself. I noticed more energy. I was a, tired mom who didn't sleep much with a 7-month-old, and I had more energy. I felt good. And I was like, all right, my husband's drinking this too. So 10 days in, it was already getting to the bottom of the bag, and we ordered chocolate, and then chocolate vegan became my soul flavor for life. But in a nutshell, I became obsessed with Shakeology. I told my clients, this is something that you could drink too. I think it's great for you. And I had no intent of ever coaching, but my belief, my Shakeology story, as it started to change my life, just overflowed out of me. And I started telling more people about it. And it was a natural progression that I started to think maybe I'd actually purposefully talk to somebody about Shakeology, not just if it came up in conversation. And if you guys don't know this, just as a little sidebar, if you are a Diamond coach, one reason to pursue Diamond beyond the fact that you want to grow a business, and there's so much opportunity here, is that Beachbody has a program called, it's a Diamond Connection, Coach Connection program, where if you're a Diamond coach and somebody like me signs up to be a coach on the internet, you can get assigned a coach. And my coach is from Michigan. She didn't know me. She got assigned me as a coach. And I'm so thankful that she called me that day, shaking in her shoes, thinking, oh my gosh, this chick has her master's in nutrition, owns a gym, and she's never going to actually want to coach, because I didn't think I wanted to coach either, but I actually did. And over time, my belief grew so much that in the beginning, I would have never said I would want to leave my job as a dental hygienist. I loved my job, to work as a coach full time. And over time, I realized that my passion for fitness, my passion for helping people get healthier, my passion for wanting to be at home with my daughter and be the one that took her to preschool and picked her up from preschool was bigger than my desire to work as a dental hygienist. And I left that job eventually. So know right now, no matter where you're at as we get started into the meat of this topic, what you think you want may change over time, and be open to that. Be open to the fact that you might say, hey, Scotty, I want to work this here and there. And you might actually be a coach that wants to leave your full-time job someday. You never know what's going to happen. But what I can promise you is that it all starts with that legitimate, honest belief within your heart for our programs and products. And that becomes the overflow. And as you help more people, helping more people becomes super contagious. I don't know what level you're all at in the business, but maybe when you hear something in the beginning, like hitting Success Club for 40 months in a row, you think like, I don't know how I could hit it for 3 months in a row. I don't think I could ever do that. But when you start to help more people, you get those people real results. Their life is changed. It becomes addicting. You want to do it more, not because you want to work more or make more money, but because you truly want to change more lives. And as you take on that mindset and that mentality, more than you could ever imagine might come true in your life. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Now you know me a little bit. Maybe you can connect with me as I talk to you. But I am a squirrel, so if I don't have a PowerPoint, I won't be present with you. So here's the deal. I like to call this presentation, For the Love of Superfoods, Leading with Shakeology, because I truly built my business leading with Shakeology. You know, I'll iron out the end of my story by just telling you that I never thought I'd actually support a single workout program in Beachbody, because even after I fell in love with Shakeology, I still didn't believe you could get fit working out at home. I didn't have that belief yet. And then I watched my coach lose 90 pounds with at-home workouts. And I was like, I guess you can get fit at home. What? So I started to become a little bit more open to at-home fitness. And when the 21-Day Fix program came out is when I became sold as a Beachbody coach. As a nutritionist, I was like, they gave somebody a simple solution. And if any of you currently at this point in time aren't valuing what you have to offer as a coach, like, I need to tell you that the 21-Day Fix style nutrition plan of a simple, balanced plan is what I would charge somebody hundreds of dollars to come in and talk to me and for me to hand them. And you get to hand somebody that for $160. They get 30 meals and that nutrition plan and a year of Beachbody On Demand workouts. Like, it is such a steal. And the biggest steal of all is that they get you. They get you to help them and coach them along the way too. So now I'm a believer. Now I know at-home fitness works. Now I know that this nutrition plan is awesome. And I hope you all believe that you have all the tools for success. You have what just the gym doesn't have. You have what just a nutritionist doesn't have. You have the whole package. It's like you're delivering somebody a nutritionist, a personal trainer, and then the coach who helps them. You don't have to be the professional that knows what I know. You just have to be that person that holds their hand, cheers them on, and supports them along the way. That's what a coach is. Okay. So your Shakeology story. I truly believe that every single person, if you want to be able to share Shakeology effectively, needs to have your own Shakeology story. The only people this doesn't apply for is if you have an allergy to Shakeology or something and you truly can't consume it, cling to another story of somebody that you've helped with Shakeology. But to build that belief, you have to know your Shakeology story. So this is one thing I did within my team before, and maybe you guys will want to do it too. But we shared our Shakeology stories, and I used the hashtag Shakeology changed me because it truly changed me. And you should work on your story. So remember, I'm sure you've heard this tagline before, but products tell and stories sell. There are so many products on the market that people are here to look at and read the label of. And even when they read the label, reading the label of Shakeology often looks like the label of some other products, which is what confuses so many of our customers as to why ours is more expensive than theirs. And they think it's the same, but it's not. So the product won't sell somebody. What sells somebody is the experience that you've had with Shakeology, and as you share that in your life. Okay. So Shakeology, why you should drink it? Well, it is our business. So you should want to be a product of the product, and nobody's going to do anything that you don't do yourself. So if you don't believe that it's worth it, the amount of money that it is, your customers aren't going to believe it's worth it. If you don't believe it truly gives you energy, your customers aren't going to believe it gives them energy. So we have to be a product of the product. But it also is seriously just the best. Like, I just have to point blank tell you, from a nutrition perspective, if there was another product that marched into my lap that I thought was better, I would have to do it, because I truly believe on offering myself, my own body the best, and my clients the best. But it's the best. I've researched them all. Nobody else takes pride in their products like we do. Nobody else is willing to compromise the, margin of what they make on it because they want to add less quality ingredients to it. We keep everything top notch regardless, because nutrition is our number one mission. Okay. So it truly is the best. And then the other reason you should drink it every day is because it's a compounding effect in nutrition. I like to explain it this way. When you think a salad is never going to be a bad meal, I'd never tell you don't eat a salad because you're eating a donut today, right? So Shakeology is the same way. It's always going to be good. Even if you had it one time, it's nutritious and it's good for your body. But do you guys know the saying, one cheat meal isn't going to ruin your diet, and, one healthy meal isn't going to make you healthy? Well, the same thing goes for Shakeology. Having one healthy meal one time isn't going to give you the most health benefits, but drinking it every single day, your body is fulfilled with the nutrients that it needs to function at its highest quality every single day. And if we only do that once in a while, our body's constantly playing catch up instead of being fueled. Okay, so drink it every day. So Shakeology 101, let's get into the ingredients a little bit for you. So I'm going to work through about 6 categories of the main things in Shakeology to help you understand it better. You don't need to know the nitty-gritty details of absolutely everything, but you should understand in general what goes into Shakeology. So there's different protein blends in Shakeology. If you have questions along the way, please write them in chat. I'll make sure we get to them at the end. I don't look at them while I talk, or else I won't actually talk anymore. But so the main difference between vegan and regular Shakeology is obviously in the protein to start with. So vegan Shakeology, we have a protein blend that's pea, oat, rice, quinoa, flax, and sacha and chia. And what I want you to know about this, I love vegan Shakeology. It's my jam. It's what I drink. I'm not vegan. But what is super cool for you to know about our vegan protein and Shakeology is that most people, if you've ever drank vegan protein outside of Shakeology, or if you run across somebody who does choose to drink vegan things, vegan protein is gross. It is super gritty and grainy and nasty, and it tastes awful. But our vegan protein blend in Shakeology is amazing for many reasons. Number one, we use pea protein as a big bulk of that, and it's a super smooth protein. It's also digested at about a medium speed, similar to what casein would be digested as in the body, and that helps us stay full longer. And the blend in general is great. So with rice protein too, one thing I always like to share, because I love it about Shakeology, is that rice is often hard for people to digest in their system to get the whole grain benefits. But the way that it's processed is biofermentation, and it breaks up the 3 parts of the grain. So you get the whole grain nutrient benefit, but it's not so hard to digest. So we have an awesome blend with Shakeology. It's super smooth. That also contributes to how smooth it is, and it tastes awesome. So there's regular Shakeology. The difference is it contains whey protein, an animal product, but otherwise it's the same kind of blend in there. What's protein do for our body? Protein helps us repair muscles. So this is a great thing when people are working out and they're sore. Having good sources of healthy protein and a lot of the other ingredients in Shakeology helps our bodies recuperate from that and keeps our nutrition on point. It helps us with hunger and cravings too. I'm sure many of you have experienced the benefits of Shakeology helping with your cravings. And if we can make protein taste like chocolate, that's pretty awesome too. But it keeps your blood sugar steady as well. So vitamins and minerals in Shakeology, this is the other main difference between vegan and regular that I personally find that most coaches don't know. So if you didn't know this, vegan Shakeology is not fortified. What that means is that in regular Shakeology, I should have got my bags down for you to look at, but on the back of the bag, it would say vitamin A, and it would say the exact amount of vitamin A that's in that bag. If you flip over vegan Shakeology, it does not say that. And that's because vegan Shakeology is not fortified. So by law, we cannot say how much of each vitamin and mineral is in vegan Shakeology. Vegan Shakeology only comes from what's bioavailable in the specific foods that are in that shake. So think about it like this. Say one orange came from California and one orange came from Florida. Do you think there'd be the exact same amount of vitamin C in both those oranges? No. So since one orange went in one bag and one orange went in another bag, we can't say how much vitamin C is in there. Does that make sense to everybody? Nod your head for a few of you that I see. Cool. So what's awesome though is either way, whether you drink regular or vegan, you're fulfilling your daily needs as a generally healthy person. I'm personally in the bank of belief that you don't need an extra multivitamin unless you're deficient in something. If your doctor's told you, or your client's doctor has told them, hey, you're deficient in vitamin D, don't tell them not to take vitamin D. But a general multivitamin, people can save money because they don't need to take it. What we need to fulfill our general healthy requirements, I believe, is in Shakeology. Cool. So the next category on the back of your bag, if you look, is antioxidants. And, if you look at what's in Shakeology, that mainly comes from kind of the super fruits that are in there, the cherries, the blueberries, things like that, the goji berries. And then also antioxidants come from green tea. If you're drinking cafe latte Shakeology, you even get a bigger antioxidant benefit through the coffee fruit. The coffee fruit's one of the richest antioxidants that we have available. So super awesome antioxidants in Shakeology. What do antioxidants do? It helps us fight free radical damage, all the things that we put in our body that aren't that great, all the, pollutants outside too. All these things help us with free radical damage. It also helps prevent cellular damage, and it promotes cardiovascular health. One thing that I just always find is a super interesting fact is that one acerola cherry has 65 times the vitamin C as an orange. So there's some really powerful and potent superfoods and superfruits in Shakeology. The other thing to add is that when matcha was just added in April, hopefully everybody knows that there were some new ingredients added, but if not, when matcha was added, matcha has 100 times more antioxidants than green tea alone. So that is a great benefit that we have in Shakeology. So phytonutrients, what are phytonutrients? The easiest way to understand what a phytonutrient is it basically helps with cellular communication. Think about how your cells communicate within your body. That's what a phytonutrient does. So moringa is a huge component of that, and matcha that we added has major phytonutrient benefits as well. So phytonutrients help with your immune system. They help promote healthy aging, detoxifying the body, and promoting an alkaline state in our body, which is what we want, not an acidic state. So matcha, like I said, has 100 times more antioxidants than green tea, but matcha also helps calm the mind. It has disease-fighting powers, natural energy booster. And while we're talking about natural energy, a lot of times people think that means caffeine. But adding matcha did not add caffeine load to Shakeology. So if you were worried about that, or you have clients that are like, I'm super sensitive to caffeine, the caffeine in Shakeology is so minuscule that even the most sensitive person, I don't think, would actually be experiencing it from Shakeology. It might be a mental concern that they're like, I think that it's got to be Shakeology because of the chocolate and the green tea, but it's probably not. It's a very, very, very small amount. And even cafe latte, specifically with the coffee fruit, that's not where the caffeine comes from. So there's no extra caffeine in Shakeology. Adaptogens. Adaptogens are super, super awesome things that we have in Shakeology, and it just got like brought up 80 notches with chaga being added to Shakeology in April. What do adaptogens do? They help with stress, and they also help with immune support. So let's talk about stress for a second. Stress of daily life. I'm sure we could all describe ourselves as stressed out from time to time, but also the stress we put on our body from workouts. Shakeology helps us with that as well. So adaptogens, chaga really takes, the cake with this. Chaga is considered like the king of the mushrooms. And if you guys haven't seen, if you weren't at Super Saturday, I'm a big proponent of events, but if you didn't get to go, if you have not seen the clip on the Team Beachbody YouTube channel, they took and chopped out the portion where Isabel and Darren talked about the new ingredients in Shakeology, and that's available. It's like a 7-minute YouTube video that you can watch and send your clients about the benefits. But one thing they shared in there that was super cool is they shared how they've wanted this in Shakeology for years now, and they could have done it. But it's one more reason that trumps why Shakeology is better than anything else, is because they couldn't get it to the quality they wanted it, farmed in the amounts they needed to be able to put it in Shakeology. They could have put it in Shakeology. They could have said, we have chaga in there years ago, but it wouldn't have done what it said it was going to do. It wouldn't have actually contributed to the nutrient quality because it wasn't as potent. So whenever you guys are looking at labels and you see things and you see those dumb shakes at Walmart and stuff that look like they're the exact same on the label, know that they can put that there's a certain ingredient in there, but it doesn't actually have to work. It doesn't actually have to be at the potency and purity that an ingredient needs to be at to do what it says it should do. And that's what we do with Shakeology. We make sure everything actually contributes to the nutrition and the benefits that it should. So chaga also has antiviral and antimicrobial effects. It has a high antioxidant capacity as well, even though, we're viewing it as an adaptogen in this category. But this is something that's super cool about chaga itself, is studies have shown that it can help mitigate LDL, which is our bad cholesterol in our body. So, as we know, Shakeology has been clinically proven now to lower cholesterol and A1C levels, which is your blood sugar. This is another contributing factor that can really help with cholesterol. It also boosts our immune system. And one cool thing about that is, I'm sure maybe some of you on this call or clients you've worked with have struggled with autoimmune problems before. So autoimmune is a little bit different than when we're talking about like immunity boosting. So adaptogens boost our immunity, but actually chaga as well can dampen the immune system when we're talking about how our body is like reacting to itself in an autoimmune condition. So it can support that, which is really cool as well. And then the last kind of category of ingredients is digestive support, our pre and probiotics, fiber, and digestive enzymes. So if you don't know the difference, prebiotics are basically the food for probiotics in your gut health. And our digestive blend in there, Yacone, is a major contributor. It's a natural prebiotic as well. But all these other enzymes that you see listed help our body digest food better and help our digestive health in general. But one thing I always like to share and I find really interesting is, one of the digestive enzymes in there is lactase. Lactase is something that, helps our body break down milk products. And, our body actually stops producing that after we're 2, which, not that I'm a vegan, but I always find that interesting because, really after we're 2, we don't need the support of cow's milk via nutrition studies anymore. And that really makes sense the way our bodies are designed, that we don't have as much of that anymore. But most people still consume a lot of dairy. So it's great that we have that in there to help our bodies digest that as well. So that is ingredients in a nutshell. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second so I can see if there were specific ingredient questions before I go on to the next little topic in here. Let me scroll. All right. Yes, you can totally have a copy of my slides. That's fine. Any other questions in here?
I'll have you send those slides to me after the call and then I'll get them to him. That'll be awesome.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh, I see a question. Somebody typing in here about pregnancy as well. Of course, just while I'm thinking about that, I'll share that with Shakeology, you always want to direct somebody to their doctor first, because we're not doctors. And even me having my master's in nutrition, I will never tell somebody what to do because I don't know their health history. Like, we're not sitting down and having like an extensive conversation about all this stuff. So I'm always going to refer somebody back to their doctor. But from my opinion as a nutritionist, I would always tell my prenatal clients, I would tell them to drink vegan Shakeology personally. And the reason why I say that is that they could take their prenatal and they can take any other supplement that their doctor had already prescribed them, and they're not going to have too much of anything. Because remember, the actual vitamins in vegan Shakeology are coming from what's ever bioavailable in the food. And regardless of your religious beliefs, I don't believe that God put any food on the earth that we can overeat and, make ourselves get too much of one ingredient. Okay. So that's personally my standpoint is vegan Shakeology, but whatever their doctor is comfortable with too. All right. If I missed any at the end, we can go over them, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go back to screen share here, and I'm going to go into the next thing that I do that truly changed my business. So I do something called, I run Shakeology tasting groups every single month, and I'm going to give you an insight as to what I do with that. But for me, what I found is that most people are more nervous than anything about laying down some dough on Shakeology when they're not confident that it's going to do something for them yet, or they're not confident they're going to like it. And even though we have a bottom of the bag guarantee, if you can sell somebody on Shakeology, you've sold them on quite a few things. You've sold them on the coaching opportunity, in my opinion. You've sold them on a challenge group, in my opinion. You've sold them on everything because we've given them an experience with what we do, and we've helped them see value and results very early on. Okay. So what I do is I actually go through abbreviated what we just went through in my tasting groups. And I'm going to show you how I do that. So how do I run these groups? Personally, for me, you could do this anytime during the month, but I like to run my groups the last week of every month. I do this because, my clients and my prospective clients are ready to order challenge packs by the end of the month. So if you're somebody who is struggling to hit Success Club, guess what? Somebody's ready to order a challenge pack. Or for me personally, I always hit Success Club 10 within the first 5 days of the month because I want to be able to focus then on my team and continuing to help people without any stress on myself. So by running these tasting groups at the end of every month, I have new clients ready to order by the first because our group finishes up and they're like, okay, let's do this. So that's why I choose for it to be at the end of the month, but you could do it anytime. So what do? They order the sampler pack from the back office, or you can buy boxes of Shakeology and send out packets yourself. Personally, for me, I like to buy boxes of Shakeology because I have a second business center and that's going to be giving me more volume. For you as well, there's less volume in those sampler packs than there are in you buying a box of Shakeology of packets. So that's a tip. If you want, you can buy the boxes and ship them out. But if you're in a place where you don't want to be bothered shipping things out to people, or you actually don't want to take on the extra expense right now in your budget of buying another box of Shakeology, have people order the sampler pack. No big deal from the back office. So I take people through the 6 categories that we just went through, one each day. So Monday through Saturday, I basically go through each of those things. I go through protein one day. I go through antioxidants one day. I go through vitamins and minerals one day. You get it. You don't have to go into huge detail. I don't share what I just shared with you with my customers because they don't care about that. They care about, understanding that it's special and what it does for your body. What does an adaptogen do for your body? So you can take what it does for your body off my slide if you want, or you can Google what do adaptogens do, and you can share that in your group, okay? But helping people understand the benefits of Shakeology. Then after I've taken them through those 6 days, basically of those 6 topics, on the 7th day, I go live in my group and I share my Shakeology story. That's why I said to each of you in the beginning, your Shakeology story matters. The product, yeah, we taught them about it. We educated them. Educating people really helps with their objections because I truly believe objections are just a lack of knowledge or education. There's questions there. We've helped answer a lot of these questions in advance by doing this group, but your story is what's going to drive it home. That's the home run, is your story at the end. So I go live, I share my story, and I invite them to join in my challenge group. And that's often where I get those challengers like I talked about. I switch it up. Sometimes I'll run 4-day groups. So like when the vegan taste sampler launched, I ran a 4-day vegan tasting group with the new flavors. I'll switch it up from time to time to make it fun. Sometimes I'll call it cut the crap or a sugar detox or clean eating, but I always, every single month, give the option for people to join with Shakeology in whatever quote free group or mini group I'm running. Because why not? Who cares if, 5 people in your group are drinking Shakeology and 5 aren't? The 5 that aren't might see that the 5 that are getting better results, and then they might want to join with Shakeology, right? So always give the option for people to join with Shakeology regardless of what you're doing. All right, so why run a group? Literally 75% of my challengers come from my mini groups. I would be hard pressed to tell you differently that I definitely invite heavier to my Shakeology tasting groups than I do to challenge groups, because I want to get the biggest pull of people possible into that Shakeology tasting group, because I know those are going to become my hottest prospects. They've had an experience with me already. So that's going to be a better opportunity for me. It boosts my volume as well. It boosts my team's volume when they run these Shakeology tasting groups as well. And new challengers are ready at the beginning of the month, like I shared for you, which is a reason why I consistently hit Success Club. So if you lead with Shakeology, the challenge pack is an easy sell. So if you're somebody that's always struggled a little bit when it gets to the price and you're like, ugh, I feel like, I don't know, they're not going to say yes about the price. If you lead with Shakeology, Shakeology costs $130 on its own. So when you take that portion of it out, that's no money left. So if you've sold them on Shakeology already, you've already got them there. Who doesn't want to spend $30 for the nutrition plan and a year of on-demand, right? So totally lead with Shakeology. That's how I've led my whole business. And like I said, most objections come from the lack of education. So by educating them all week long, we've answered all their questions in advance. All right, so social media. The other thing that backs all this up in the end is that we have to be sharing about Shakeology on social media and in more ways than kissing our shaker cup, okay? So I'm gonna share with you a few ways of how I share Shakeology. One thing I do is that I always publicly post any objection I get about Shakeology. I make a post about it. So if you're inviting enough people, you should be getting some objections, right? I don't do shakes, or, my shake's the same as that already that I drink, or, that's way too much money for a shake, or I like to eat my food, or whatever. Your list should go on and on and on. And these are some of the examples of posts I've done. That one over on the left, for me, I'm making like an obnoxious face, because people will definitely read something when your picture's good. My face is obnoxious, and the beginning line is, "Oh, no, you didn't." My face and thoughts when I hear people say their protein shake is just like mine, all right? And then I go through and I talk about why Shakeology is not like other protein shakes. The one in the top, it says what is in my cup. That's my social media tip for the day for you. People will read the first line of your post. So make it good and people will read the rest. Like even something silly like, "Can I tell you something?" People are wondering, we're humans. They're like, what does she want to tell me? I want to know what she wants to say. People want to know. So that one that says what's in my cup, that was Greenberry Shakeology. And I was talking about how I tried Greenberry Shakeology once. I thought it was gross, but some of the coaches on my team love Greenberry. And they're like, "You've got to try Greenberry again, Abby." So I gave it a chance. And the life lesson at the bottom of the post that I shared was just like I tell my 4-year-old, sometimes you've got to try something again before you know you really don't like it. And that was to address some people who had told me in messages that they had already tried Shakeology and they didn't like it. So I was sharing about how I tried this flavor once and I didn't like it too. So you get the point. So I used objections to definitely do it. I'm also known for, I like to put Shakeology in pretty glasses. That's something that I personally do to make people look at my posts, because people might see a shaker cup that says Shakeology all the time and think they already know what that post is going to say. But people might be wondering, like, what's in my glass, So, that one on the left says chocolate cake martini, or is it my Shake-O? Life's better with sprinkles. So sometimes it's just sharing what you're doing and making something pretty and look fun. And sometimes it's sharing value too, okay? So that one up in the top right, I wrote, "Remember, when your body is hungry, it wants nutrients, not just calories." And then I shared about how I like to drink my Shakeology in a wine glass though. So, and then the last set of examples is just some more ways that I do it. Sometimes I don't even write that it's Shakeology, okay? And that's really important. I like that takeaway too. As long as you are sharing that it's Shakeology sometimes, like in the top right, that looks like just a straight like strawberry milkshake from Eaton Park, right? And I put that on my page and I said, it's a beautiful day for a patio and a superfood milkshake. Well, I got so many messages that day saying like, what's in your cup? What's a superfood milkshake? How do I make a superfood milkshake? So sometimes when you leave out just enough information to pique curiosity, people are going to ask you. If you tell them everything up front, they might not. Sometimes I just share a recipe. Sometimes I put a Snapchat filter on to make it look funny and different. So there's lots of different ways that you can share Shakeology. Get creative. The last thing you have to do when it comes to Shakeology is you have to also create public invitations. So these were just examples of invitations to my different tasting groups. And, I'm sure you guys have heard this terminology before, but in case you haven't, like all those posts I just showed you are what we call jabs, right? They're just little breadcrumbing posts of what I'm doing. But none of those posts said at the bottom of them, do you want to drink Shakeology too? Do you want to join a challenge group? Do you want to do anything? It was just sharing value and overcoming objections. These posts are actually inviting people publicly to do it with me, okay? So that's necessary when it comes to running these tasting groups or to challenge groups, is you have to also publicly invite people. But I put in the bottom of this slide, P.S., don't forget about private invites, because you're not going to get it all one way or the other. It's like the perfect marriage of both of these things. If you don't have the public invite, when you invite privately, people are like, this girl's weird. Like, what's she talking about? And they look on your page and all they see is cats. And they're like, is she really drinking stuff and helping people? No, right? We had to have the mirroring image of both what I put on my page and what I say to somebody privately. And the other thing is, I talk to my coaches about this all the time. They'll say, I put up a post and I got like 1 like or 5 likes. Nobody really wanted to do it. I messaged those 5 people, but they all said no. You have to invite more people than actually are interested on there. How easy is it? It's another reason why I highly recruit for these mini groups. How easy is it for you to get somebody to sign up for something for $25? Let's be real. How many of you go out to lunch and drop $25 sometimes? How many of you go get a manicure and drop $25 sometimes? It's easy to drop $25. So inviting somebody to join you for a small amount of money is way more comfortable than asking somebody to join you for $160. So don't forget about those private invites. That's where all my yeses come from. I forget if it's one of these on here or not that I was going to share. Yeah, that one up in the top right. Look, on that post, for example, I get pretty good traction on my page. And 15 people like that post. Only one person said they wanted to know more about Shakeology. Okay, that was my January group. I had 25 people in that group. Okay, where do you think the other 24 came from? They came from about 200 other invitations that I sent out. So remember that you've got to have both, okay? So then the last thing I'm going to share with you guys is leading with a 90-day commitment. So my Shakeology retention is pretty high, and that comes from the fact that I always lead with 90-day commitments. I changed the way that I started running challenge groups, and I could always come back and talk to you guys sometime about my 90-day challenge groups. But back in September, I realized that people were having healthy months instead of healthy lives, and I didn't want that for them anymore. They would like lose 10 pounds, and then they'd be like, all right, Abby, I don't want to check into this group anymore, so I'm out, and then they'd gain those 10 pounds back, and they'd cancel their Shakeology too. And so I started leading with 90-day commitments from day one. And the way that this works, I just wanted to show you a graphic. This was based off of the All Access Challenge Pack when it was $199. So, bear with me there. That's when I made this. But either way, if you make your goal every month to help at least 3 new challengers enroll with the All Access Challenge Pack, you already hit Success Club 5. Winning, right? And then let's look at the actual commissions behind that. So month 1, this was with the $70. Now it's $50 when it's on sale for $160. But $70, 3 people, that's $210. Month 2, when you led with a 90-day commitment, I told these people in advance they were going to do this group for 90 days with me. They were going to drink Shakeology for 90 days with me. So they're staying on their HD. Month 2, I bring in 3 new people, and then my 3 existing people continued on their Shakeology. So I have another 210 of retail sales, and then I have $58.50 in ongoing Shakeology orders. Then month 3, you see how that compounds. Now I have 6 people on Home Direct at $117 in that recurring commission. And then my income continues to grow, right? So with this kind of thought process, guys, you'd always have that many people on Home Direct, and that continues to grow because my people don't cancel Shakeology, and we'll talk about how that happens here on the next slide. But, you know, think about how if you're somebody that maybe you have a financial goal right now, up those numbers. What if Success Club 10 was your goal every month? What if you helped 5 new people come in? My husband's a math teacher, so he'd be disappointed in me that I'm not going to do this math off the top of my head right now. But you can see how much more quickly that would compound, right? So that's me. Success Club 10 is my personal minimum. I bring in at least 5 new challengers every month. So that means that I'd at least have 10 challengers on auto ship, you know, on month 2 of my challenge group, right? So cool. Let's move on. So setting the expectation, how do I set this up? So examples of how I say it. Basically, you know, you guys will have these slides so you can read through them, but these are just 3 different examples of how I personally say it in messages when I'm talking about a 90-day commitment. And, you know, just so I can read one of them to you, I'll say to you, you know, for me, checking in has been key. We were talking about an accountability group, that daily accountability. And I said, you know, are you open to trying Shakeology to be part of my 90-day program with fitness, nutrition, meal planning, and daily support? I require it because I know it's amazing for you and will benefit you so much. You're only required to commit for 90 days while I hope you become a lifer like me. It's not required to commit past that now. Just enough time to give it a fair shot. Okay. So I always let people know up front, like it's 90 days. Like we're doing this 90 days together regardless. So I always set it up like that in the beginning. And then the second thing I do to guarantee that my people are going to stay on Shakeology is this. So I do Shakeology check-ins within my challenge group. There's 2 I always make sure happen. After that, you know, I can't always promise it happens, but 2 I always make sure happens week 1 and week 2 of my challenge group. Week 1, I actually do this via voice memo on Facebook, but I'll send them a voice memo that's like, hey girl, wanted to check in and see if you started drinking your Shako every day. How are you liking it? How are you mixing it? A couple things just happen. Number 1, I don't know if you've found this yet, but sometimes people don't start drinking their Shakeology. They don't start right away. So they already are going to have a backlog of Shakeology. So when bag 2 comes, they're like, I'm not through bag 1 yet. Call and cancel, right? But if I get them drinking their Shakeology every day, we don't have that problem to begin with, okay? The other thing it does is I'm asking them how they're mixing it, which is often a problem from day 1. Have you ever had clients that stir theirs? You know, I've like, one of my clients was like, oh, I asked for some almond milk at Starbucks and I just stirred it up. That's disgusting, right? So no wonder they weren't liking their Shakeology. Then week 2, I send them a voice memo that says, hey girl, happy Monday. Don't forget to start your week strong with Shako. I'm reminding them to start their week strong with Shako. And I'm asking them, are you noticing less cravings, more energy? How's your digestion? So now I've done another thing right here. Maybe they've had more energy, but they haven't attributed it to Shakeology yet. So I'm planting in their mind, okay, there's an association between more energy and Shakeology. That's a good thing. I also ask them how their digestion is because maybe somebody didn't want to tell you that they've like totally had like a wrecked digestive tract. And you could say to them, hey, why don't you try a half scoop? You could say to them, why don't we put you on vegan for your next month? Do you know how to change your flavor? See if that's easier for you to digest. That's a tip in case you don't know it. Most people will digest vegan Shakeology better. Most people do have a hard time digesting whey protein. And if they've never done shakes before, that could easily be a problem. Okay, so that's something. And how I do this easily, and I have big challenge groups, is I send a voice memo, and then there's that little arrow button. You can forward that to all your other challengers, and none of them know that you forwarded it, okay? It's going to be the exact same voice memo that you sent to that person. So as long as you don't say, hey, Susie, you're cool. You can just say, hey, whatever you like to say, or hey, friend, I don't care what you say, but just say something, and then you can forward it to them, okay? The other thing I do in my groups to create interaction on Shakeology is I create polls in the group all the time. I personally, I like Facebook. I'll have my challengers sometimes track their workouts and shakes on the challenge tracker, but I get more of a connection with my challengers on Facebook. So my polls that I run in the group, I often will say something like, hey, you know, how many shakes did you get this week? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I see who's been consistent with their Shakeology. Or I'll post something that was like, you know, what are you noticing from Shakeology? And it'll be like, I'm not as bloated. I have more energy, you know, all these positive things. Or one's like, I'm really struggling and not drinking it because I want to know so I can reach out and help them. Okay. So I always create interaction with Shakeology, and I share nutrient benefits of Shakeology, just like I do in those tasting groups in my groups to keep retention up. So that is my presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can see if there's any other questions. Anything? You guys thinking anything?
Anybody have a question? I saw one question we'll have you answer real quick before we end it out. They asked the post examples that you shared, do you do them on a public page or a business-like page?
Okay, so both is the answer to that. You know, I'm not sure what your personal recommendations has been for anybody, but I'll tell you this. If you're doing Beachbody the right way, if you're just sharing your life, I totally think it's 100% acceptable for you to be using your profile page until you've built up that audience. And, you know, eventually everybody needs a like page because you're going to eventually add more than 5,000 friends, and you're going to need a way to add to your network outside of adding friends on Facebook. But you can share these things on your regular page, because I wasn't saying like, hey, buy Shakeology, here's my link. I was sharing life, sharing my journey, sharing Shakeology. So yes, you can post that on your business page or your personal page. All those posts I showed you were actually from my personal page.
Awesome. One more question, but I'm going to point out something that I noticed there. Everyone on here, I want you to notice something she said. When you have your friends list at 5,000 people, like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. You should be like having a goal of adding to your network. So you're not talking to the same 224 people for the next 5 years, because that won't work. So make that a mental note that you need to be expanding your friends list, and not with Beachbody coaches, but with people that you can speak with. So, and share your product in your story with. Last question for you, Abby. Do you retail, and this is more of a gym related question, do you retail Shakeology or any of your supplements directly out of your gym?
So I have individual packets at my gym, yes. But I would never sell like bags of Shakeology at the gym, because you want people to be, the way our business model is purchasing through you, being sent to their house kind of deal. I don't want anybody to be able to like come into my gym like it's GNC and like grab a bag off the shelf. So I want people to be my customers on auto shipment to their own home. So I do have individual packets, but not bags.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, we got to wrap this up. Abby, that was absolutely amazing call. We got so much value in understanding Shakeology on a deeper level and the importance of it and how it applies to our health and nutrition, how we can help our clients with it. I think that's the most important role, right? Our job is to help people live a healthier, more fulfilling lifestyle. So it's important that we learn this today. And then also thank you for giving us some step-by-step tips and examples of how you share it, so that we can begin doing that as well. It was like an aha moment for me. I'll just share. In my first year, I was blogging on my blog. Like, I was doing a Shakeology highlight, spotlight, I called it, and spotlight, ingredient spotlight, where I take one ingredient, like whatever it was at the time, like now we have matcha and all these other ones, and I would research it, and I would write a post and share all the health benefits. And one of my, in Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. Each coach's success will depend on their own diligence, effort, and skill. But one of my $1 million earners, Brigitte Linford, she watched every single one of my posts on Facebook, and she read every single Shakeology spotlight on my blog and ordered Shakeology before she ever talked to me. And when she was ready to become a coach and share that, she reached out to me on Facebook and said she was ready. But it came back to researching, just like you researched, just like Abby researched everything behind the scenes about Shakeology and made that decision. Understand that you get to be that vessel that helps educate people. And that's where the objection lies. Like, I heard that from Abby. A lot of times the objection is just they don't have an understanding of it. So you can decide to become that person that educates people through your posts. So Abby, thanks again for the incredible value you shared with us. This will be recorded. I will gather those slides from Abby. She'll send that to me on Facebook. I'll put them in a Google Drive and put the link to that Google Drive in the description of the YouTube recording, so you guys can have that and share that. Hope you guys have an incredible week. Next week, we have an awesome call as well. It's different than we've ever had on our 30-minute mentor series. We have 3 coaches presenting. One of them shared with me and the entire network how she's not this 6-figure earner yet. She's an elite 5-star diamond coach. She doesn't make a 6-figure income, but she has 2 people that she has helped that are in the Beachbody Challenge. They're being in the challenge at Summit for their transformation, at the opportunity to earn or win the $100,000 grand prize, and how that is more important to her than earning a six-figure income. And I think that's what this is about. A lot of times people get lost in money, and we don't want this team or this culture to be that. So I'm excited about that call next week. And remember, your income will be a direct reflection of the number of people that you guys help. So we'll see you guys next week, and have an amazing week. We'll see you guys.